Okay, here we go. So here I'm going to go ahead and show you how I made my, or how I'm making my tree stumps from the Nightmare Before Christmas. I'm going to go ahead and I'm using a floor mat. You can probably get these at any hardware store, Home Depot, Lowe's. I get mine at Harbor Freight. I believe they also sell them at Ace Hardware, but I think Harbor Freight you can get a pack of 25 by 25 inches for $10. Right now I'm just going to go ahead and measure the doors because I want them to be at least somewhat the same size for each tree stump. I'm making the entire forest. So this one I'm going to go ahead and make the Valentine's door. So I'm just going to go ahead and trace my heart here. So now that my heart is complete, I'm going to go ahead and just start cutting in the grooves. So in order to do that, you want to make sure that you have a very sharp X-Acto knife. A brand new blade. I just put a brand new blade on mine. And you're going to cut at an angle. Reason is because you're going to cut at two angles facing each other to create a V shape. And you'll see that how I do that here. And I'm just going to go and just do some wiggly lines just to kind of make it look kind of like a bark. So I'm going to go ahead and start my first cut, and I'm going to show you here. I'm doing it at an angle, so my blade should come out like that. And just go all the way down, doing your shape. Be very careful since you do have a sharp blade. You're going to flip it over and do a V shape. Cut that the same side, and then you're just going to peel it away. And that's how you get your texture for your bark. So I'm just going to go ahead and do a whole bunch of these, just random lines everywhere and cutting through them. And then you'll kind of see what it looks like. Okay, so what I'm going to go ahead and do here is I'm just going to go ahead and now that you've got your main texture, you want to add a little bit more. So I'm going to use my X-Acto knife blade and just cut through all the other pieces that are in between the lines that I cut, just to give it some more texture. You're going to have these really thick lines, and then you'll have some really thin lines. And once you heat this up with your heat gun, it's really going to open up all of those textures, and you'll be able to see it, some really nice bark look on here. So here we go. I have my heat gun here, also bought at Harbor Freight. Mine has two modes, one high, one low. You do have to use a heat gun. You cannot use a hair dryer. It won't get hot enough. This guy gets as hot as the sun. So, you do need a very hot heat to get this where it needs to be, especially this type of thickness of foam. I believe the foam is about 10 millimeters thick. So I'm going to go ahead and heat up my bark that I made. And what it's going to do, it's going to go ahead and burn off any peach fuzz that you created when cutting your foam. It's going to seal it. It's also going to really open up as it would be if it was a face, it would open up the pores. It's also going to make it pliable. When you heat it, the foam itself is really hard. So when you heat it, it's going to make it very flexible. This is going to allow you to go ahead and make your cylinder to make it be a tree stump. What you're going to do is once you're done heating it up, you're going to go ahead and start bending it, and it's going to start to stay in that form, at least a little bit. You're going to have to probably come back once you're finished with it in the paint job and you're about to glue. And here you have your tree stump, as simple as that. And now I'm going to go ahead and cut the heart. I'm on my, village, I'm going to only have the Christmas tree open. The rest of them are going to stay closed, but I'm still going to cut it through. I'm not going to cut the entire thing all the way through. I'll probably just cut it into the very edge just to have that look. But there you go. Okay, here we go. Here's your bark. It's really simple. It's just cut a couple lines, heat it. The heart is cut. You guys, if you're doing this at home, you don't have to cut through the shape of the door. You could just paint it on, but I prefer it to be cut because you can tell it's actually cut. Also, I might keep it open or leave them to be open in future displays. I do feel like keeping this out for Halloween next year, maybe, or 1 year for Halloween if I do Nightmare Before Christmas again, or for Christmas, same thing. So it's up to you. Or I might even put it in my daughter's room and have it displayed and have it have all the lights turn on based on the color scheme. So Valentine's would be red. St. Patrick's would be green. So something like that. Once you're ready to seal it, though, you're going to make sure you heat it with a heat gun again. You're going to do it on the floor mat texture side. It's going to curl up a little bit. You're going to help it by molding it that way to a stump, a cylinder. And you're going to use contact cement. You can also find this at any hardware store. Again, I do Harbor Freight. You're going to put it on both sides until it dries tacky. And then you're going to put it together by pinching it closed. and that guy won't ever open again. Contact cement and foam work very, very well together. So there you go. And then the next shot here I'm going to show you is I kind of continued on. I jumped from project to project. I didn't want to keep doing tree stems because I was kind of at this point over it. So I'm going to go ahead and show you my continuation of my Jack Skellington house. So right now I'm just going to go ahead and grab some reference images to help me create that gate. And the next shot I'll show you what we're going to do. Okay, so here's my reference images. I think this is the most time consuming part is I can get so involved in reference images. It takes me weeks on Pinterest just looking at images, saving them, forget about my project. But I'm going to make this guy out of foam. I got this at the Dollar Tree near my house. It's a wonderful Dollar Tree. They have so many good items here than any other Dollar Tree that I've been to. But we're going to actually use the floral green foam. And we're just basically going to shape out the stones that I want or the gate